So it's time for a big one. I'm going to talk about this guy. This is an Areca palm fruit. It is not normally eaten like just straight out. That would probably taste really, really awful. People don't eat this for its flavor though. It's taken because it acts as a stimulant. The nut is usually referred to as betel nut. This is because it is almost always used along with the leaf of the Piper beetle vine. These are actually two completely different plants though. They have no correlation at all together, but when you combine the two together, it creates a heightened stimulant effect. Either one on their own would have a very mild stimulant, but when you put the two together, it kind of it ups it up quite a bit, and that is further increased by this here. This is called lime, and no relation to the fruit. It is basically which one is this? This one's calcium carbonate. This helps these the stimulant from these get into your bloodstream faster. So when you combine the three of these together, you get quite a pick-me-up. It's supposed to be something around having like a cup of coffee, like a strong cup of coffee and a cigarette like at the same time. On a personal note, I don't do drugs. I have never had a sip of alcohol. I have never smoked a cigarette. Nothing. Being clean of these things is something that I identify with. So I want to try all the fruit in the world, but with the betel nut there is a conflict of interest. But in this case, I'm going to let the fruit win and do something that I normally would never do. In the Areca nut, there is something called arecoline, which is a vasoconstrictor. In the betel leaf, there's something called eugenol, which is also a vasoconstrictor. Vasoconstrictors, as the name suggests, constricts the blood vessels, causing your heart rate to increase. Other vasoconstrictors would be things like coffee. Cocaine is a vasoconstrictor, and meth is a vasoconstrictor. It's basically anything that's kind of like giving you that kind of perked up stimulus. This is not going to be as bad as taking a bump of coke. It's not going to be as bad as taking meth. It's not that kind of problem. And although it does have slight addictive quality to it, it's more in the realm of having like a cigarette. The combination of these two together have a lot of cultural significance. Archaeologists have found evidence of these being used over 4,000 years ago. There are many different ways to take the combination of this. In Taiwan, this is incredibly popular, and what they do is they basically will take the fresh nut, they will cut it, and they'll put a little bit of the lime inside, and they would chew it just like that, or they'll wrap it, they'll take like one of these leaves and they'll wrap it kind of like this before they chew it. In India, they do it a little bit more chilled out, and I believe this is also how they do it in Malaysia, and that's where they will use usually not the fresh nut, but they'll use a dried version of it. And they'll just take like a sprinkling of that, not a whole nut's worth, just a little sprinkling of it, a few dabs of this, and they'll wrap it in the leaf and take a chew out of that. In Malaysia, it's got a lot of significance. In Malay culture, traditionally, if you were to be invited to somebody's home, they would present you with like a tray of these, and that's kind of like, instead of having like tea, they would have betel nut together to be like a conversation starter. In Malaysia, on the 20-cent coin, if you look at the back of it, that is a tray with betel nuts, betel leaves, and in the lower portion right there is a pair of betel scissors. In Taiwan, it's got kind of a really interesting like subculture tied to it, because these are sold like on street side by basically like half-naked women. So half-naked women will sell these to the customers, who are almost entirely made up of men, especially like working class men. So cab drivers and construction workers, they will drive by like these, scantily clad women. The women will come out and sell them the wrapped nuts, like just kind of like a interesting way to go about it. It's kind of like a hip sort of like feel to it when it's actually like a very traditional sort of thing. In different cultures, these have a sexual connotation as well, because you're taking two unrelated plants and bringing them together, and it causes like this kind of like magical reaction. So these are very often used in ceremonies, like wedding ceremonies and joining together of family type of ceremonies. I know in Vietnam it's used in wedding ceremonies, as well as Nepal and India. And traditionally, like the areca nut is a symbol of male, and the leaf is a symbol of female in India. It's actually talked about in the Kama Sutra as well, I think for that reason, and also this is used as a breath freshener. So in the Kama Sutra it says, like, well, if you're going to get down to business, first chew on some of those betel nuts, so your breath doesn't smell. Not a bad idea. So these have like a very common reputation of causing teeth staining, because when you chew this, it's supposed to produce a red liquid. And the arecoline in the areca nut, that causes you to salivate a lot. So when you take this, you spit out like a lot of like red liquid. Fun. If you like walk around areas in Southeast Asia or India or China, even in some areas of China, you'll see red stains like all over the sidewalk, and that's from people who are chewing this and just spitting out the red liquid. That is the most well-known side effect, a notorious bit for doing this. But really, there's a lot about this fruit that is bad for you. Now, very often when you put these together and you add spices, people also add tobacco to it, which doesn't help things. But there is evidence that just the betel nut alone is carcinogenic, so it causes a lot of problems. Mouth cancer, stomach cancer, esophageal cancer. It can cause obesity, it can cause diabetes. There's a lot of bad things that it can do to you, but because it is such like a historically important thing for a lot of cultures, a lot of people also claim that it's really good for you. I'm highly skeptical of that, but it does improve your breath. It's supposed to help people with psychosis. It's an appetite suppressant. It's supposed to help with constipation. It's supposed to help with parasites. Fishermen in some areas use it to treat octopus wounds. That's gonna come in handy. So there's a lot of benefits supposedly to taking it, but I think helping your octopus wound is probably gonna be outweighed by getting mouth cancer. Before I do this, I want to just take a moment to explore the areca nut a little bit. This is a fruit video after all, so like I said, normally when people eat the fresh nut, they crack it open with their teeth. So I'm gonna try that. Yeah, it's an awful taste. Ah. Ugh. Just taking that bite gave me like a little rush of like dry mouth. There it is, and it's actually fairly soft. It's pretty wet in there. I'll take a little teeny bit of it. Ah, it tastes like dry mouth. That's what it tastes like. Ah. The second I touched that to my tongue, my whole mouth turned dry. It's got no flavor other like that I can really detect. I guess kind of like woody tasting. The Kama Sutra says that this is a good mouth freshener. I think they're talking about the dried version, because fresh, I wouldn't want to kiss somebody who was chewing on one of these. just in case you're curious what the dried one tastes like. Oh, warning, there's going to be a lot of spitting in this video, so if you don't like to look at people spitting, you might not want to watch it, but I'm going to try to be polite and spit in this mug instead of, at the camera, so you should be okay. Okay, the dried nut doesn't really taste like much of anything, just like a piece of wood. Okay, so let's put this guy together. First, you take your leaf, and then you take your lime. The leaf is a little wet right now because I washed it. When I got these, they had dirt on them, so I guess they didn't clean it. I'm going to mix up this lime, and if you're curious what this stuff is made out of, traditionally it's made out of seashells and coral. So you just dip your finger in here, and just put a few little lines of this this powder on there. You don't want like too much of it because it's known to actually cause burning. And then you take your betel nut shreds here, and I'm not sure exactly how much to use, so let's just be careful here. I'm gonna put. Normally they take full like clumps of it, probably like half a nut. I'm going to put, yeah, maybe like 5 of these. Let's put extra little piece on there. I want to make sure that it's actually going to do what it's supposed to do. I don't want to go like too weak, even though I am kind of terrified of this. From here, if you wanted to, you'd put spices on it. I want to see kind of like what this tastes like, so I'm not going to do that. And then you fold in the corners like so. You fold in, so you make this little tube, and then you fold in one side and the other. And in India, what they do is they'll take a clove and they'll stick the clove in here just to hold it together in like a little package. Now, how this is done is you're supposed to take this whole thing, you put it in your mouth, and you chew it. You let the lime and the nut and the leaf kind of like work their magic together, and you just chew it and chew it and chew it, and as you do it, the arecoline inside the areca nut starts to cause you to salivate a lot. So you're going to want to like spit a lot. I'm actually already getting a little salivaty from just having the little dry bit. So this is going to be fun. Since this is actually popular with like cab drivers, it's some people, they just swallow it. Like all that hack that builds up in their mouth, they swallow that liquid, which is probably why this also doesn't just cause mouth cancer, but esophagus cancer as well. So if you're going to be doing this, don't swallow it. That's one, disgusting, but also bad for you. Let's go. Oh, that's pretty gross. It's very peppery. Betel leaf is related to pepper. It's from the pepper family. So, that makes sense. It's heating up in my mouth a little bit. Because like the calcium carbonate is supposed to like open up the blood vessels in my cheek so it goes in, and I think it's doing that. It's supposed to make you like flush. We passed a minute. I guess I could spit now, but I'm holding it okay. I'll wait a little while longer. Yeah, definitely burning my mouth. Not badly, but it's burning. I'm salivating quite a bit. Alright, let me take a spit. I'm not going to show you this spit, but it's pretty brown. I guess it has a red tinge to it, but it's more brown than red. It does have like a cinnamon kind of flavor. Like something in that kind of world. Cinnamon or like sassafras or something. It's not entirely unpleasant. You know, if I think about it like I'm just eating some like funky cinnamon, it makes it easier to handle. It's supposed to stain your teeth, and I think it's staining mine a little bit. It causes permanent staining too if you keep doing it. So I'm gonna brush my teeth after this so that doesn't happen. I feel okay. I don't feel especially perky or anything right now. I don't feel especially relaxed. Some people, they say they feel like they're drunk. I've never been drunk, so I think I'm okay. Trying not to swallow it, it's kind of hard. Some of the liquid gets to the back of your throat. Almost time. Alright, 5 minutes. I'm getting rid of this thing. Ah. Ah. That is pretty. I'm feeling a little bit out of breath from doing it, which I guess would make sense. For one, I'm up in the mountains right now, so I already kind of have trouble breathing up here. And this thing constricts your blood vessels, which means that your lungs have to work harder to get oxygen to your blood. As far as feeling like drunk, no. If there's any slight feeling in my head, it's either like really like a slight kind of dizziness, lightheadedness, or it's psychosomatic. So I'm feeling maybe a little bit, but it's not enough to like really write home about. And I'd imagine I'd be a lightweight at this point, since I have never in my life had any kind of drug or alcohol. But like the big thing that this thing is supposed to do is be like a stimulant. It's supposed to perk you up like coffee or something like that. And you know, it's been about 10 minutes now, and I'm not feeling any kind of stimulation. Excuse me. Okay, maybe a little bit. The effects of doing this the Indian way, by using the dried, shredded, or chunked nut with the leaf, is it's okay. It's a mild stimulant. It makes me feel like maybe a little off, but not anything really that noticeable. If you want to do this and you don't want to feel sick, or you want to like do it your first time, like I'm doing now, I would do what I did. I would do it with the leaf, I would do it with this and the lime, and I would put spices in it, and you'll be fine. If you want to just like go hardcore and like really get drugged out and buzzed out on betel nut, what's wrong with you? But yeah, you can do it with a fresh nut, a full fresh nut. I think you'd be getting quite a bit more, or you can up as much of this as you want. Hey, so I'm in the Philippines now, and they have betel nut here as well. In the little islands, I haven't been really seeing this so much, but in the northern region of the Philippines, the northern Luzon area, it's everywhere. And every cab driver, every pedicab you take, every motor cab, any kind of transport you take, you'll see the red smile. So they do it a little differently. They do it with a dry nut, and they do it with a powdered lime. So it's a little bit different than the Indian kind that I did before. Like the Indian one, you can see that it's been like sitting around for a while. It's like, it looks like wood. This one is a lot fresher looking. I think that it's been partially dried out just because the outside is dry, but when you open it up on the inside, it's still like a little moist looking. So it's not like 100% dried out, but it's also not 100% fresh. Like I also put about a half a nut in mine, rather than just like a few little shavings. So this one is gonna be strong. It tastes pretty close to the same. But it's giving me a little dry mouth. Similar taste though. Very peppery because of the leaf. Very woody because of the nut. A little heaty. And that's because of the lime. And lots of saliva. It's a lot more. It's a little harder for me to talk right now. But I want to chew it for a minute before I spit. The juices coming out is a lot more red. I think because it's fresher. I think because it's fresher. And yeah, still dyeing my teeth. It's an awful habit. I don't recommend actually doing this. The teeth staining is really bad. That alone is pretty awful to see. I'm going up north and seeing so many people with those teeth. Like, oh, you gotta stop before your teeth fall out and completely turn red. It's not awful. It's like I'm able to do it, but it's not fun. Let me do it one more minute. I'm doing it for about 5 minutes now. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this. Alright, so I spit it out and I waited about 7 minutes. And I'm feeling some effect already. It's not very strong, but it's stronger than the one I did before. I'm still feeling like a little out of breath, and I'm feeling my heart beating faster. So it's doing its job, and it also stained really bad. It's, I don't know like what exactly is staining. I think it's the nut, just because I took more of the nut. My whole mouth was turned red, and even now that's been some time, and I've cleaned out my mouth a few times. My tongue is still red. Your teeth are probably a little red too. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting to do. I mean, it's not awful. Like if you really wanted to get perked up, you could do it. It's probably like a really strong cup of coffee. That's at least like how I feel. Like if I drink like 1 cup of coffee, I don't feel out of breath. I don't get heart palpitations. But if I drink like 3, which I've made the mistake like once or twice, that does happen. I do feel like a little more awake, but not in like the way I would with a cup of coffee. It's a different sort of awake. Like I almost feel like a little shaky from taking it. It's not awful, but it's not quite as pleasant as a cup of coffee. At least in my opinion, I feel like a little disappointed now because it's morning. I waited till morning to take it just so it wouldn't keep me up at night, and I would rather a cup of coffee right now. I kind of feel bad because I don't want to take a cup of coffee now because I just took this thing. I don't want my heart to explode. So I'm gonna have to like wait a few hours before the effect to go down and then have my cup of coffee. it's a little disappointing. Like, there's no good flavor to it. You know, it's kind of like dries out your mouth a little bit. It turns your teeth bad. It gives you like all sorts of cancers and bad things if you do it for the long run. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to try it, reluctantly, I'd say try it. It's certainly an interesting thing, and it's an important thing to a lot of people, and I think that's a good thing for you to experience. So, give it a try. Alright, well, that's it, I guess. 100 episodes, and I think this is a really good way to do it. I think this is a good kind of like cornerstone in these little adventures of mine. What I like about fruit hunting is that it's not the fruit itself, but the adventures that I go on to find it. It's kind of like the journey, and not so much the destination. Although the destination is great. Like, sometimes I find something really interesting, but if you've watched a lot of these videos, sometimes I find things that taste terrible or really boring. But I wouldn't trade any moment of it. I still get excited about trying things that are boring and things that don't taste good, because it brings me to places I normally wouldn't have gone to. It makes me meet people I normally wouldn't have met, and I think that's definitely a very important thing, especially when you're traveling to other countries. So when I go on these little fruit hunting adventures, I get like a real raw look at life in another country, and I love that. I love seeing what real people do. They go to the market, they buy their groceries, and just going into those places, you see a side of the world that a lot of people don't get to see. Trying betel nut is making me go down a road less traveled in a different way. I have never had a drug. I have never had a drink. I've never had a cigarette. Nothing. But fruit hunting has made me go against my comfort zone and try something I never otherwise would have done. For me, that's huge. This is, I think, my last time coming to Malaysia, at least for the contract that I've been doing. I've been coming here for 3 years for work, but I'm not going to be doing this gig anymore. At least I really don't think I am. So this is just like a chapter of my career and fruit hunting that is closed. I'm going to be moving on to other things, and I'm sure that that's going to bring me to new places. And where the next place is, I don't know, but I'm sure that there's going to be more fruit there. That is a given.